all about tech, TikTok, Tesla, Apple. So much to discuss here. Dan Ives is with us, Managing Director, Equity Research at Wedbush Securities. Thank you so much for being with us. So yesterday, you had, obviously, the vote go through 352 yays. They only needed 290 in the House. They passed the vote that now we're going to have to see TikTok either a ban or divestiture, a sale of some sort. Where do you think, and it could go it's my understanding the Senate, which seems less certain, but it's likely to pass, and then it goes to the president and he says he'll sign it, and that this could all happen very quickly, right here in this month of March. What do you foresee happening? Do you have a sort of a most likely scenario?
Look, I mean, we do a lot of work with our advisors in the Beltway. Right now, we think 25% chance that this actually gets banned and actually sees the Senate floor. Because remember, look, this is a third rail issue. For the House, it's great grandstanding theater. Senate, this is where it really comes down to. And there's a huge ripple effect here in terms of where this can go. 25% chance the ban actually happens.
Okay, so if we move forward and so 25% chance of the ban, how likely is it that they would have 6 months, I understand, to now put together some sort of group to take this over, divestiture? You talked maybe about a consortium of Microsoft, Apple, Oracle. What could happen there?
Look, the big issue, Nicole, is they're not going to sell it with the source code. So this is almost it's like buying an F1 car without the engine. So the problem is that ByteDance in China, there's no way that they're going to sell this without the source code. So the problem is that if you sell it and you don't have the source code, the value is significantly lower, and it's really a spider web. Now, when you look at Mnuchin and others, join the club in terms of the list of strategic and financial buyers that would line up for TikTok. But it all comes down to the source code, and that's the issue.
Right, and as you're saying, obviously in China, they're not going to have a U.S. company owning a company that operates in China. It just won't happen. So if we have a ban, and I do want to talk about Stephen Mnuchin and him working to try and put together a group to make this happen. But you're talking about so many millions of Americans, 150 million Americans, and you have even some senators saying how it would be a huge, hurtful decision for companies and business owners and so on and so forth. Would it be?
Yeah, I mean, look, 150 million consumers on it, the advertising, but then it goes back to First Amendment, right? Like, in other words, like, how could they tell consumers what they can and can't do? I think that's the problem. It's a slippery slope. Is Meta, Facebook next? Google? Do they tell you that you could wear a red shirt or a blue one? So that's where you get into this third rail issue that TikTok's become.
Yeah, and Stephen Mnuchin, who was in the Trump administration at that time, he actually was moving forward to push to get rid of TikTok, and it has been an ongoing story that it is a matter of national security and that they do have access to so much proprietary data on 150 million Americans. If something happens, okay, let's go with the 25% ban. Will you see beneficiaries? Would it be Meta's Facebook and Instagram, or who else?
Yeah, clearly, look, Meta would be the biggest beneficiary in terms of a ban because of what that would do from an advertising perspective. But then it comes down to, so let's just scenario this. If this ultimately goes down a ban and sale without source code, it's going to be a strategic buy. Look, I think Oracle, Microsoft would probably be top of the list in terms of going after it. Mnuchin and some of these other consortiums, they'll join in terms of the potential bidders, but I see that as less likely.
It just feels so unclear at this time. The entire nation, has this on their phones. And, we're being told over and over again it's a matter of national security, but at the same time, to your point, the First Amendment issue, can these app stores ban apps? And, can people get VPNs and sort of access it a different way?
But no, but Nicole, the other thing, it's CFIUS, right? I mean, the CFIUS investigation's ongoing in terms of the backdoor to Beijing. That's the whole goal of Oracle and Project Texas in terms of, firewalling and where that data is. So it's cart before the horse a little in terms of where this is all going. And then look, that's why it's a third rail issue. The House could do this great theater, get in front of the microphone. Senate, it's a whole nother situation.
All right. Dan, I know you have to get going, but I know you still love Tesla and Apple and love them even more here, right?
Look, I mean, AI continues to be the theme, right? I mean, from NVIDIA to Microsoft to, I think Palantir knows. But when it comes to Apple and Tesla, right now, sentiment's way overreaching the negative. We firmly are bullish. China clearly headwinds. We sit here 6-9 months from now. This was a golden opportunity, not this, what I believe, the start of a structural decline. But I get it. All the bears are coming out of hibernation mode that have been in their dark caves for years.
All right, I'm going to let you go. I know you got to go. And I thought it was fascinating that an NFL player's financial advisor jumped in and said, no, you can't buy the Cybertruck at $100,000 over asking. So you could look up that story. That's a fun story. Dan Ives of Wedbush Securities, thank you so much for being with us today. Appreciate it.